Hi everyone, today, we're going to take a look at the 5 best weed killer for lawns on the market for this year. First, we're going to show you our 5 best picks, then we'll talk about what you should look for before buying a best weed killer for lawns. You can find timestamps and links to all the products we mention in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. Weeds can be tough to contain. And if you can't stand the thought of spending another hour tirelessly weeding your yard, it may be time to snag a store-bought weed killer. If left unchecked, weeds can completely ruin a lawn, says Gladys M. Curtis, Ph.D., plant scientist, who adds that these herbicides are one of the faster options in weed control. To determine the best weed killers, we researched dozens of the most popular options, considering their active ingredients, effectiveness, and ease of use. We also paid attention to whether the products were designed to kill weeds, prevent weeds, or both. In addition to Dr. M. Curtis, we also spoke to Michael Agaitis, lawn care expert and owner of Florida Gardens Lawn and Shrub Care, and Stuart McKenzie, horticulturist and expert at trees.com, to learn more about how weed killers work, when to use them, and what to consider before buying them. The first thing you should do before shopping for a weed killer is identify the types of weeds you have growing in your yard. Then, you can determine your goal and use the information to select a weed killer, says Dr. M. Curtis. Our top pick, Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action, is a best-in-class option, thanks to its ability to kill and prevent specific weeds while fertilizing grass on your lawn. Keep watching for more of the best weed killers and preventers on the market, plus expert tips for buying and using weed killers. Number 1. Scott's 26003 Weed Killer for Lawns. Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action earned the top spot on our list because it does more than the average weed killer. This product kills pesky lawn weeds and prevents unwanted grassy weeds from growing. And it does both of these things while fertilizing your lawn at the same time, eliminating the need for a separate fertilizer. This 3-in-1 approach sets it apart from other popular weed killers and preventers, making it a particularly convenient way to clean up your lawn. Although it's important to note that this weed killer is intended for lawn care, not flower beds or gardens. Since this is a selective weed killer, you don't have to be precise when applying it. Instead, you can spread it across your lawn and trust it to kill specific weeds while preserving the grass you want. When used correctly, the so-called weed-in feed will kill common weeds like dandelions, clover, chickweed, and more. It can also prevent grassy weeds, like crabgrass, from growing for up to 4 months, although it will not kill any existing crabgrass. Product details. Active ingredients, dicamba, pendimethalin, and 2,4-D. Pre-emergent, yes. Post-emergent, yes. Selective, yes. Targeted plants, dandelion, clover, dollarweed, ground ivy, chickweed, henbit, plantain, English daisy, crabgrass, barnyard grass, fall panicum, foxtail, and annual bluegrass. Application style, broadcast spreader, sold separately. Number 2. Green Gobbler B07 GSGFBRN Weed Killer for Lawns. Green Gobbler's Weed Killer is an all-natural way to prevent weeds from growing in your yard. Its formula contains 2 simple ingredients, vinegar and water. But since the mixture is so concentrated, you can expect the weed killer to be about 4 times stronger than the table vinegar in your pantry. This treatment works by drying out the weeds it touches, a process that typically kills them within 24 hours. This makes it an extremely effective natural weed killer. But there's one important thing to note. The Green Gobbler Weed Killer will prevent all kinds of seeds from growing roots, including any seeds you intentionally planted if you accidentally spray them. After all, vinegar doesn't know the difference between weeds and vegetables. This makes the application process less convenient than the selective weed killers on this list. But if your top priority is using all-natural ingredients, this is a necessary trade-off. The product is one of the few all-natural and organic weed killers out there. And since it comes inside a tank sprayer, it should be easy to target unwanted weeds while avoiding the plants you want to keep. Plus, it's safe to use around children and pets when used as directed, unlike most chemical weed killers. Product details. Active ingredients: vinegar. Pre-emergent: no. Post-emergent: yes. Selective: no. Targeted plants: all. Application style: tank sprayer. Who it's for? People who want a weed killer that's safe for use around pets and children. Who it isn't for? People who want a selective weed killer that doesn't require precise application. Number 3. BioAdvanced 704140 Weed Killer for Lawns. Weeding by hand can be frustrating. But spraying individual weeds with weed killer can be just as tedious, especially if your yard is big. So when you're working with a large space, like a lawn, a selective weed killer comes in handy. And that's why we recommend BioAdvanced's all-in-one lawn weed killer for the job. The weed killer is designed to kill 217 common yard weeds before and after they've emerged, including crabgrass. It's a great option for killing fully grown weeds and for stopping younger weeds in their tracks. This dual approach makes the BioAdvanced Weed Killer a great pick for your lawn, and its easy application method makes it an even better buy. Simply attach it to your garden hose and turn the water on, then use your thumb to activate the sprayer. Since the weed killer is selective, you can spread it freely across your yard to clean up weeds without harming your lawn. Product details. Active ingredients: 2,4-D dimethylamine salt, quinclorac, and dicamba. Pre-emergent: yes. Post-emergent: yes. Selective: yes. Targeted plants: dandelion, clover, thistle, chickweed, crabgrass, and more. Application style: tank sprayer. Who it's for? People who want to kill weeds on large lawns both before and after they've emerged. Who it isn't for? People who want a weed killer that's safe to use around pets and kids. Number 4. Spectracide HG96622-1 Weed Killer for Lawns. Fast-acting, effective, and easy to use, Spectracide's extended control weed and grass killer is a great option for patios, sidewalks, driveways, and other paved areas. The product relies on several active ingredients to control weeds, and it's a very effective formula. It can kill existing weeds in as little as 3 hours, and it can prevent new weeds from growing for up to 5 months. And you don't have to worry about inclement weather right after application. If it rains more than 15 minutes after application, the precipitation won't wash away the treatment. Since this Spectracide weed killer isn't selective, it should effectively knock out any plant or weed it touches. This may sound like a negative if the product isn't selective. You usually have to be careful where you spray it, but remember that you're applying it on pavement. Anything growing out of your patio or driveway likely wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. That's why we still think using the Spectracide weed killer is an efficient way to clean up paved areas. Product details. Active ingredients: diquat dibromide, fluoxafop-p-butyl, dicamba, dimethylamine salt, and oxyfluorphan. Pre-emergent: yes. Post-emergent: yes. Selective: no. Targeted plants: all. Application style: tank sprayer. Who it's for? People who need to kill weeds on paved areas like patios or driveways. Who it isn't for? People who want to target specific plants and weeds. Number 5. Preen 2464223 Weed Killer for Lawns. When controlling weeds in a vegetable garden, you want a weed killer that's all natural and safe for use around food and herbs, and Preen's Natural Weed Preventer fits the bill. This weed killer contains a single ingredient corn gluten meal which prevents germinating weeds from growing roots. You'll have to be proactive though. This product stops weeds from growing in the first place, but it won't kill any of the existing weeds in your vegetable garden. The Preen Weed Preventer is another all-natural product that isn't selective, so you have to make sure you only apply it to areas with weeds. Otherwise, you might find that the treatment stops your veggies and herbs from growing, too. But, when used correctly, the product works for up to 4 weeks, so you only need to apply it every month or so. And if you maintain an organic vegetable garden, it's available in an organic version, too. Product details. Active ingredients: corn gluten meal. Pre-emergent: yes. Post-emergent, no. Selective, no. Targeted plants, all. Application style, shaker. Who it's for? People who want to stop weeds from growing around vegetables and herbs. Who it isn't for? People who want to kill existing weeds in their yard or garden.